guys, welcome to day 5 of Contemporary-A-Thon. Waiting for my bus. Don't let the sun confuse you because my hair's wet and it's like -4, so my hair is literally like crunchy icicles. Decided to get out of the house. I'm literally just going to go downtown, sit on the bus for like 3 hours for no real reason other than to maybe go to Chapters, probably go to Starbucks, and just sit and read and just have a me day outside of my house, basically. But yeah, just waiting for my bus. Can't really breathe because it's so cold. Me. Look at all the agendas I want to buy and will never use, or I'll use for like 2 weeks and then never use them ever again. Like, I don't know what it is about bookstores, but how come every time you get in a bookstore you have to poop? Also, I think I'm gonna buy these highlighters because they're pretty great. Another thing too that I've noticed in bookstores, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I am immediately drawn to any book that has a yellow spine. It's like the first thing that my eye looks at. So if it has a yellow spine, I'm like going to check it out. Like, I don't know if that's a marketing thing or if it's just a me thing, because there's not that many of them. But then if I find one, I'm like, ooh, yellow. Is that weird? I don't know if that's weird. I found the scariest book cover ever. It's like Give Me the Child, and it's just an escalator. It doesn't seem like the escalator is going to eat children, which is probably not what the book is about, but that's where my mind goes anyway, which is like very terrifying. And if that's not what this book is about, someone needs to write a book about that, because I would read it. So hey folks, I am home now after my downtown excursion. But basically, yeah, I like sitting on the bus sometimes when I have an audiobook to listen to. Even though I had an interesting time on the bus today. But why is it that the strangest people are always the ones that sit at the front? So you have no choice but to watch them. Today, for example, I watched a man get on the bus and proceed to pick his nose for like 12 minutes straight. And so like I'm staring out of the window, but I can still see it out of like the side of my eye. And then this older lady sits beside me, and at one point she just looks at me and is like, and I'm like, like I know, because it's like a car crash, you can't look away, right? It's kind of disgusting, but you know, yeah, it's part of taking the bus. Got books. I did finish Anna and the French Kiss yesterday. I thought it was pretty cute, but there were some things that like I definitely had issues with. I know Chelsea said like I like that book, but you kind of gotta like suspend your belief a little bit because it's a little like unrealistic, which it definitely is. Like it feels like it's on that realm of like just unrealistic plot wise, like whatever. Anyway, but I mean it was cute enough and like I enjoyed it. And one thing I really actually liked about it was the romance aspect of it minus sex. Like it's talked about very briefly that she's a virgin, but it's never discussed in full like, oh, like I want to do this with this guy, or like, you know what I mean? Like it was just a cute teenage romance without sex, which is actually fairly hard to find in contemporary. Like I find there's just a lot of books that like focus that as like a main thing. So I thought it was really nice to not have that be a main focus. In terms of the actual relationship, like it did kind of piss me off that the main boy had, you know, was in a relationship for like the majority, pretty much the entire book, and it's kind of like emotional cheating. Because the thing is like I'm probably going to be the minority here, but like I would rather have someone physically cheat on me than emotionally cheat on me. Like I don't know, to me that just seems worse, to be like in love with someone else but still not break up with me. Like I don't know, that's just me. I've never been like cheated on either way, but like I don't know, that's just kind of how I would take it. Like I'd rather have somebody just, you know, emotionlessly hook up with somebody and just be like, hey, this happened, than like, oh, I'm in love with someone else. But yeah, like that kind of upset me about the book, that it was just kind of like, oh, this is the thing that's happened. But I did like a lot of things about it in terms of the talk about Paris, which I thought was really cool because, you know, they go to Shakespeare and Company, which is like where I went in Paris. They went to Notre Dame and like stood on the star that's like kilometer 0 in Paris, or like the very part in Paris where all kilometers are measured from, which I didn't actually know that, but I thought that was really cool. And I know I said at the beginning that I'm happy I'm reading this book after I went to Paris. I kind of wish I would have read it before now, because there's a couple other things that I didn't know about Paris in there that would have been really cool to check out. But I loved how they talked about the stamp in the Shakespeare and Company book, because like I went to that bookstore in Paris like specifically for that stamp. So it's really cool. Like there's a lot of little things like that in there that I really liked. But overall, like I don't know how I'm gonna rate it yet. I think I gave it a 3 or 4 on Goodreads right away. I have this thing with Goodreads where like I immediately rate a book and then like 2 weeks later I'll go back and change my rating. So like if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll see that like my ratings will change like all the time, which I'm sure is annoying, but I find like as I read more and then more that I sit with it, I kind of like realize like my rating for it. But yeah, so I did that. I'm almost done the dinner. I think I only have like an hour left on audiobook, which is more about like half an hour because I listened to it at, you know, 1.7 speed or whatever. So very little of that left. I'll likely end up just finishing it tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know. And then I did sit at Starbucks and start The Ugly and Wonderful Things, which I ended up texting Julie and Chelsea about it because I was like 22 pages into this book and I'm about to cry in public and I know it's gonna get worse. And then I ended up reading about 70 pages and it's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna need a Prozac after this. Like it's so depressing. It's rough to read about. It's relatable because in a sad, fucked up way, I know kids that have gone through this kind of shit before and it's just like, it's breaking my fucking heart. And I know there's certain spots in it that I can tell are fucking creepy and I just know it's gonna get more creepy, and yet you want so badly like 70 pages in for this kid to get any sort of comfort. And so I understand now the dynamic of like you don't want this relationship to happen but you're kind of rooting for it. So I definitely, even 70 pages in, get it. And there's so much more book that I'm just like, oh my god, like how am I gonna feel about this? I did end up getting a pack of highlighters. These were kind of ridiculously expensive highlighters, but these are like erasable highlighters. I call bullshit on that. Okay, so I just tested out the pink one and it really does work. Like I wrote, wow. So yeah, like you highlight, ooh, nice, orange, lovely. And then you flip it over to the other side and then you like write in it and it like just erases it. So I mean, how cool is that? But yeah, so that's cool. And I got various colors so I can kind of pick what color I want depending on the book. And then if I'm not that dedicated to annotating, I can erase it. I'm gonna make some fajitas. Gonna make some fajitas. Grate some cheese for my fajitas. Hey folks, so please ignore my lipstick. It's all like worn off from dinner. But I did want to update you. It's like 11:30 at night. So it's going to be a full day vlog today because I have yet to import any of this footage. I do have kind of an early day tomorrow. I'm getting up to go to the big giant library sale that happens once a month in my city, and that's where I go and I get like anywhere from 15 to 20 books for like $7. Fingers crossed I find some good things. Typically I do, and to be honest, it's one of those things where I only have 20 minutes to go in and grab all these books, so it's literally everything is either I recognize this, I've heard of this before, or like 95% of it is just, ooh, pretty spine. So we'll see what I find tomorrow. But it's gonna be a fun day because I'm doing that. Then I'm donating blood, which I actually like to do. And then we have the drunk show, the drunk live show. So I'm very, very super duper excited for that. But for now, I'm about exactly, according to Goodreads, 50% done all the Ugly and Wonderful Things. It's pretty shocking. The poor things that this girl has to fucking go through is just like mind-boggling. So intriguing that I literally just sat down and read 100 pages, like no problems. So I have a feeling I'm gonna go try to edit this vlog and then possibly get back in bed and read more of this, even though I do want to be like somewhat awake for that library sale tomorrow. It's at like 10 in the morning and homegirl likes to sleep in until like 11. Also, I'm like 5 chapters away from finishing The Dinner because I listened to it on audiobook in the bus, but I have a bunch of laundry to fold tomorrow, so I have a feeling I'm gonna finish that tomorrow as well. So we're doing good. I actually thought I would be like very behind on my TBR given that I didn't read for the solid like 24 hours there. I've sort of caught up, and I think I might be able to finish All the Ugly and Wonderful Things and The Little Paris Bookshop tonight, tomorrow, and all day Sunday. So I might actually do better than I thought, so fingers crossed. I do hope you guys are all doing good in your reading, and I will see you tomorrow with hopefully a very fun day, and good night.